Okay, good afternoon once again. So we'll be starting the class now. Um, last week we were saying something about the Python, and someone asked if we need to what do we call it? We need to download another thing. Actually, the option is left to you. You can and you may not. So we actually have one thing we call Python. So we have this Anaconda Navigator. So inside this Anaconda Navigator, we have Plenty's IDE there, right? I'll just load it now, but it take a while to load. So we have Plenty IDE there. What we mean by IDE is where we can write our Python script or Python code, right? We have plenty of them there. So one of the IDEs is Jupyter Notebook. So whatever we can do on Jupyter Notebook, there is an online version for it. That means you don't need to download any of these two if you are convenient using the online version, which is called Google Colab. Do you get? So, but the downside of that Google Colab is that whenever you want to use it, it has to be with internet connection. But this one, whenever you want to use your Jupyter notebook, it does not require any internet connection. But this one, you have to install it. Why Google Colab, you don't need to install it. Do we get the difference between the two now? So what is Google Colab? So I can just log into my Google Colab and let's see how it looks like. So you can just press it when you go to your web browser, just press something like Google Colab here, right? So you will see the first one and you will see this particular um what do you call it, logo. So you want to click on this one. So it will lead you to somewhere like this. So it may actually lead you to a sign in button. So you can just register for it. I mean, normal sign in, right? So because my Anaconda is still loading, so that's why. So I guess we can see how it looks like. This is actually Google Colab. You have to exclude the green feature here. This Anaconda is still loading. So because you can see I've done quite a lot of stuff here, and you can see I have done stuff in December 14, which was last time we were taking our intro to Python. So if you are new to it, you want to click on new notebook, right? But because I've been doing something here, so I'll just click on this one. I guess we need to wait to actually get rid of this green code before we continue. So let it load, finish some minutes, please. So okay. So it has loaded now, it's done loading. So can you see? So we have a lot of IDEs here. So these are just where we can write our Python code. We have the Jupyter Lab, we have the Anaconda, we have the PyCharm here, we have the Spider, we have the VS Code. We have everything and whatnot. We have the Arc Studio there. Can you see? We have Arc Studio there. And you can only use one, and you can only use one of them. So in this case, I want to launch the Jupyter Notebook. So if I launch the Jupyter Notebook, let's see how it will look like. So it actually take a while to load, right? So you can see we have something like this. So it's downloading finally. So let me just because I actually need this to monitor the class. So you want to click on your new, click on Python new. So it's loading already. So this is actually Jupyter notebook. It take a while to load. That's the only downside. But for our Google Colab, you can see our Google Colab is downloading since. But this one uses internet connection, while the other one, Jupyter notebook here, does not need Python, does not need internet connection. So the only downside is you can see, let me just close all that tab so you can compare the two to each other. So we can see this is our Jupyter notebook, while this is our Google Colab notebook. So basically, I can just copy this one from Google Colab. I can copy it here. So let's run this one again. Can you see? Both of them, they are returning the same thing. That means they do the same work. So because you can actually do any of them, but in this class, we'll be using Google Colab to teach. But you can use Python code to do whatever we are doing, right? You can use Python code. You can use your Jupyter notebook to do anything you will be doing, right? So let's just continue. Let's start the class. So in Python, we have different keywords, or we need some introduction that needs to be done, right? We need some basic thing that needs to be done, or that need to be known by us. So we have something we call keywords, right? Which are very, very important that we know. But majorly, our basic keyword is what we call print. So when we say print is just like do something. So now in this case, I'm trying to say print hello world, that is return hello world, and that's why it is returning hello world. So if I say print to 42,000 now. Then I enter. It's loading. What is happening to my internet connection? Now, because this one uses internet connection, so it is giving me that missing parenthesis. So I'm actually supposed to add a parenthesis. Yeah. Right. So can you see it gives me 42,000. So if I actually do the same thing here, and if I had more cells here, can you see it is giving me the same thing? But because of the back and forth, I will not be using the Google Notes, the Jupyter Notebook. But anything, you can replicate anything we are doing on Google Colab. You can also replicate it on Jupyter Notebook, right? It's not an issue at all. But just that it is a mental gymnastic for me to write it here and confirm if you can write it here. But I'm assuring you that whatever we are doing on Google Colab, we can do it on Jupyter Notebook. So you can decide on which one you are using. So I'll just cancel this one, but I guess you can navigate that one now. So now the other thing is, who can check what's the difference between the first one and the second one? So I don't want to waste time because there's actually a long way we are going. So you can see when I want to write this print, I surrounded this one with quotation marks, right? We have the quotation marks before this one. But when I was writing the numerical values, the numerical value here, I now add any quotation mark. So who can tell me what's the difference and why am I adding a quotation mark to the first one and not to the second one?
Text data type
Text
and
data
numerical
type
data
and
type.
numerical data type. Yeah, basically, thank you so much. So now, because this one is a text data type and we are surrounding it with a quotation mark, this is a numerical data type. We are surrounding it with a number, right? Basically, um, that's why we are surrounding it with quotation mark. So now let's continue. So we have something we call variable. So let's say variable to actually write something like this. So we can go like this text. What do I want to write? I want it to just about variable. So now let's say we are discussing about variable. So variable is just like when you say something like x equals to 2 plus 2, right? So you can just say something like points. So x is giving us 4. So x is giving us 4, right? So now that means anytime you call x, can you see? Now that we are calling x now, it's still giving us 4. That means x is now known as 4. X is symbolizing 4, right? So x in this case is a variable. Variable is just something, it's more like a container that we use to keep a values. So in this particular case, what's the value we are using to we are keeping inside x? We are keeping 2 plus 2. And obviously this is an arithmetic operation, and that's why it is returning 4. We are keeping this value inside x, right? And instead of printing normal x, it is now printing 4. So if I say something like this, name equals to sheet2. For me to get, if I run this one, let me run it. Okay, sorry, sheet2 has to be in quotation mark. So you can see it is running now. So if I say something like print, can you see? The name is like a container holding sheet2. Basically, variable is anything holding something. Now, in this case, I can say a equals to 4, right? So if I run this one now, so if I say print a, it will be giving us what? 4. I hope you can see this thing, or let me increase it so we can see it better, right? We have print a equals to what? 4. Basically, that's it. So that's, if I can say also something like b equals to, maybe I can say, what can I say? I can use the investing. So if I call b now, even though there's special character, right? If I say something, I can even call b only, right? Let's call b only. Can you see? It is returning university. That means instead of saying print B, you can even call B only and it will still return the name. But now B is the variable for university. It's a special character here. Okay. So now I guess we all understand what we mean by variable, right? So now let's move on. Now that we have exhausted all the cells, right? So we can just go here. We have our code here. So because we have exhausted all the cells number here, all the cells, and you see we cannot write and beyond this space. So you just go to your first line. There's code here. There's plus code here. So once you keep tapping on that one, you will keep having it. And that shortcut is that you can see this is a blue line now. So you can just press escape on your keyboard, then press keyboard B for ball. Just keep pressing it. Can you see? It keeps adding it. So you can escape plus B, and you have more cells to write your code. So so now let's continue. That's basically the first part of it, and we are done. Now let's talk about our libraries. We have something we call libraries. So now let's talk about our libraries. So what do we mean by libraries? It's basically that let me just explain it in simple time. So when we see me in this particular meeting, what do you expect? You expect me to be the one that will unmute my mic and talk for at least an hour teaching you guys something. So basically, my own function in this particular course, in this particular meeting, is that whenever I enter this meeting, I should teach. It's like, or it is my known function. Basically, um, that's what library denotes. So there are some functions that whenever you call them, right, there are some functions they are known for, right? So we have different type of libraries. Or we have we have different, but we just mentioned some variants, the important one or the most common one. So we have the pandas, we have numpy. Can you see? We have numpy, we have matplotlib. Then we have SciPy. So I'll just remove that SciPy because that's not as common as others. So we have pandas, we have numpy, we have matplotlib, we have seaborn. Yeah, let me just stop at that, right? That's basically what you need for your data analysis. So pandas is used for data analysis work, right? Basically, maybe you are trying to analyze and you are trying to explore a data set, you need your pandas. Then NumPy, what's the function of NumPy? NumPy is used when you are uh, performing an arithmetic operation. That's when you use NumPy. Data analysis is more about you particularizing, you practicing arithmetic operation or while you are doing your analysis, and that's why you need your NumPy. The matplotlib and seaborn, basically, they are used for data visualization. That means whenever you need them, you just call them that, oh, just do the visualization for me. And that's why we actually import this thing. Now, there is one thing, you need to import them. You asked, where do I need to import them? So you can actually import them on Google Colab or Google or Jupyter Notebook. So it is actually pre-installed, right? It is pre-installed in Google Colab. Also, it is pre-installed in Jupyter Notebook. So you can just start like this. So the first thing you want to write is what? I'm just saying. Imports. What are we importing here? We are importing pandas, right? Now you are done with importing pandas, right? So there's actually something we call alias. I think we've done that in SQL if we were there. So alias is more like if I see Shitu, my full name is Shitu Abdul. So whenever I see Shitu Abdul, will I call him Shitu Abdul? That's too long, right? I want to give him a short cute name. So that means whenever I see Shitu Abdul, I want to call him what? Only Shitu. Basically, data scientists, majorly because they are the one that used the Python and Google Colab. So they think pandas is too long, right? And they want to short it as PD. That is, whenever you call pandas, import it as what? PD. You just say something like import as PD, right? What else do you want to import? You want to import NumPy as NP. The same reason. Also, what else do you want to import? You want to import matplotlib dot pyplot. So actually, you have to write dot pyplot. Basically, you are trying to import something. So you can just say something like PLT from the word plots. So then the last one, import Seaborn as SNS, which are the libraries I told us earlier that we have pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and Seaborn. So let's run this one. So we can see it took 1 second and it is already done running. That means whenever I want to do something now, I can just call my PD. I can just say PD dot because pandas majorly is majorly used for data analysis stuff. So we will be using PD, that is pandas, more than others. NumPy, we only call NumPy when we are trying to do arithmetic operation. We call matplotlib and Seaborn when we are doing data visualization. And you can tell me that we don't even have data to read. So that means you are not expecting us to call matplotlib and Seaborn. Both of them are used for what? Are used for data visualization. Why NumPy is used for arithmetic operation? Basic thing, the first one we can call is what? Pandas as PD. And what's the first thing we need to do? We need to import our data, right? We need to import our data. So let's say we have a data here. Let's have the data. I'm sorry. Okay. I guess I have some data here. I'm trying to check where my data is. Sorry. Okay, I guess I have a data here. Can you see we have women and abuse under my download? So I'll just go back to my Google Colab here. So now I already know that women abuse is a CSV file. We have different type of file. We have the Excel file. We have the CSV file. We have different type of file. So in this case, I'm trying to read a CSV file. So we just write something like pd dot read underscore CSV. So if you are reading an Excel file, you write what? Excel file. If you are reading SQL file, you write read SQL. If you are reading JSON file, you write JSON. It just depends. If you're using XML file, you write XML. But in this case, we are reading what? We are reading CSV file. So you have to know, how do you know your CSV if what you have is a CSV file? So you can just right click on this one, right? Right click, go to the properties. So you can see something like comma separated value, that's CSV. So if you want to check others, you will see something like XLXS, that's for Excel. And you can also check online that what type of CV am I using. So you get that. So now, because this is, what do you call it? This is Google Colab. You know, there's a folder here. You need to upload your data asset into Google Colab. So now let's upload it. You can just click on this upload button here. It's already uploading. Go to your download, women abuse. So let's upload it. It's already uploading. So it is uploaded here. So the first thing is, after you write your each CSV, you have to open quotation mark. Then go here. You can see when you click on this one, there will be a 3 column here. So what do you want to do? You want to copy path, right? So you can just click on the middle of this quotation mark, then Control V, then run it. Sorry, I think I will need. Sorry, in case you need my attention, you can just call me because I will not be able to see you now.
Yes, sir. So what you pasted? So was it the name that you copied?
Sorry, I don't get that question.
What you pasted in
What
that
you posted
bracket, was
in
it
that
the name of
bracket,
the
was it the name
file?
of the file? No, I didn't. I copied the path
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. And I paste it in the middle of the quotation mark.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So you can see we have our data set already. We have our what do you call it? We have our data set, we have our country, region, you can see we have all type of stuff. So now there are some basic command that we need. So now I've exhausted all my keyboard, all my cells. So I can just click on this plus code here, right? I can just pressing on it and I keep having it. Can you see? So the next thing is there are some basic command that we use in Python, right? And they are very, very easy. They give us insight about about what we are doing in uh about everything we are doing in Python. So now let me just try to enlarge this thing now. Okay. So now we can see we have 7,000 rows and 12 columns. And we can see we can't see all of those rows there. We have the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's see, we want to see the top 10 rows. So what do we do? Now I told you that we have something we call attributes. We have some that we call functions. They are basic keywords that we need. So now let's say I want to see the first thing. Now, for me to call this thing now, I can just say something like df. I want to add a variable to it. Let me rerun it now. So that means whenever I call df should return the table that I've saved inside it. Now let's call df, let's call it. What do you expect? You are expecting the table to show. And can you see the table is showing already? So now what do you want to do? You want to see the top 10. You can just say df dot head. That's the table dot head. Now head in this case, head is a basic function. So you can just open your brackets. How many rows do you want to see? I want to see the first 10 rows. But actually, again, what do you call it? Python numbering start from 0, right? You can see it start from 0. That means if you actually dip it, it will be what? 0 to 9. Can you see? That's the first 10 rows. Now let's say we want to put the first 30 rows. We just write what? Head dot 30. Can you see? You have the first 30 rows there. Can you see? We have the first 30 rows there. So now what about you want to see the tail of this one? The last rows of this particular data set. So you just go to So instead of editing, this one will be what? Tail. Please, can you mute your mic? This one will be what? Tail.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. I still have a question, sir.
Okay. I know
Sir,
your question.
yes, sir, I replicated that with it and pasted the copy as fact, but it's not. It's showing error.
Can I see your screen, please?
Okay, sir. Sir, actually, I'm using my phone to
Okay.
listen to the this thing. I'm using my system and phone.
Okay, now let's try to do it again.
Okay, sir.
So be ready. Try to see that you, because Python is case sensitive, SQL is not. SQL is not case sensitive. So the first thing is you want to note that, do you write everything according to how I wrote it? Is everything in small letter? You do write PD in small letter, then dot, read CSV. All of those are they in small letter. So when you write that, you want to open your bracket, then click on your file. Right? This is my file. Click on the three dots, click on copy path, right? So at the middle of this one, add your two quotation mark there, then paste what you've copied there. Control enter. And you see it's already working now. You
Okay,
get
sir.
that?
Yes, sir, I'm on process.
Okay. So now let's move on.
Okay, sir.
So we have our tail. So now let's say we want to get basic information about this one, about this data set. What's the name of the data set? DF value. I want to get basic information. You can just do something like what? Info. So now we have 12 columns already. And I said that this number will start from 0. So we are expecting something like 0 to 11. Then we have our country. Can you see we have 7,000 values? There are no non-values already. And we can easily get, when we see something like object means what? String data type, that is text data type, right? So we have our region. You can see it is object. We have our year. That's what's integer. That's number. Sorry, that's numerical data. Then we have our object. That's string. Then float is also an object, right? Everything else is what is a string, and that's why you call it objects in Python. Please, do you understand that also?
Yes, sir.
So now we can just see something like shape. Now notice something. When I wrote df.info, I added what parentheses at the back. So now let's say I want to add parentheses at the back of shape too. Now let's see the difference. What does it give us? It gave us that tuple does not tuple object is not callable. So there are actually some functions that are called attributes. They don't need what do you call it? They don't need bracket at the end of them. So you want to remove the bracket, right? And press Control Enter. So you can see we have 7,000 rows and 12 columns. Please, do you understand that also? So if you want to get the shape of the data set, 7,000 rows and 4,000 columns. Do you get that? Let's continue. Who is that?
Sir, actually,
You can easily
sorry, sir, that I'm taking off back, but I was lost from the time where you inputted the data because as you wrote that pd dot read csv, so the file, when I pressed the file, I did not see anything that will link me because that csv file is inside my download. So I thought I'm copying the part from the file from downloads and pasting it here. I don't know how you located it through the uh, not through the collar from here.
Sorry, can I get your question? I really did not get what you were asking.
So when so actually you open the CSV file we use uh this for women abuse. So I don't know where how you located it through the app without going to download, because my own was saved in download. So when I type pd.read dash csv, so I could not open it here. When you say I should go to file, when I open file, I didn't see anything like copy path or something. Maybe I missed a step. I don't know, sir. To upload the file into the.
Okay, let me just go back. I click on this file. Then there is an upload button. I have to upload the file I'm working with. So you have to click on that upload button. That upload button will be the one that will send you there. Where do you keep your data set? I keep it in my download. What's the name of
Okay.
your download? This is my download here. Then you click on, you open it. Then you continue the work. Do you get that, sir?
So I understand now.
Sound
Yes.
fun, yes.
Thank you.
So now we've gotten some basic information about our data sets. So now the next thing is, let's say we want to get you can do something like this to describe. And you can see this one is asking for, you have to do describe with what? With the parentheses. So let's describe with the parentheses. So can you see? It's given that the total number of this data set is what? Is 7,000. The mean is 2020. This STD is 3. The minimum is the minimum. I guess this one should be minimum year. The minimum year is what? 2015. The half year is 2020. Then the 75% year is, can you see the 12 and max year is 2025. Now you can get some bit of information about this data set already. So now let's do something. Let's say I want to get all the columns. So this DF that I'm calling first is the name of the table. You just say DF dot what are you trying to get? I'm trying to get the name of all the columns. So you write DF dot columns, right? Mm. So can you see? So when you say DF dot columns, it doesn't need brackets, right? You don't have to know which one has bracket and which one does not need bracket. You just need to know what and how to write the and to know the how to read the error message, right? You can see we have the evidence columns and all our columns that we need here is being called out. So what else can we do? Let's say we have df unique. Now let me call now we can see, let me call my df again so we can actually understand what I'm writing about. So let's call our df again. Df is Python, right? Is the data set that we've uploaded it and we denoted it with what? Df, signifying what? Data frame. That's just like table, right? So I want to call on my new country now. Remember, we have 7,000 data sets, and that means there will be some country that will occur more than just one time, right? We cannot have 7,000 countries in the whole world. They are less than that. They are about 200, 194 to be precise, right? Yeah, let's see all the countries that are present in my data set. So the first thing I want to do is what? I want to write the name of my data set first. Then you have to use the square brackets to call on the names of my data set, right? So where can I find the country? I can find the country here, right? Click on tab. So you can see df.country. So if you show this one now, let's show this one. Ah, okay. I thought it wasn't running. So you can see we have Argentina here, then Argentina here, then Argentina here. It is reoccurring. So how can we solve this particular problem? Let's see. The question Do you want to ask questions, sir?
No, sir.
Please, can you mute your mic, please?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now, let's say we are trying to get the distinct number of them or distinct value of all the countries that are not operating in this particular column. So after this one, this DF means that show all of these data sets, but this country means that okay, I'm not interested in all of them. Don't let me show country, right? So then you want to write plots. What do you need now? I want it to be unique, that is to be distinct. You want to write something like unique. So you can see it is actually returning all the countries that are there. Can you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now we have 15 countries that makes up that made up the 7,000 rows of data set. That means the data set was collected in 15, was it 15? In 15 countries, right? So what do we need to do if you don't want to cram all this much? So you can just do something like this. So instead of n unique, you can just write something like n unique, that's number unit. Sorry, you have to write n unique and not n number unique. And so we have 15, that's 15 of number that are unique in this particular case, in this particular country, right? So do we get that, please? Please, do we get that? Can you grab an emoji, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, great. So now let's look at this one now. So now we have region and we have 7,000. Now let's say we want to get the we are already doing. Can you see we're already working on the country? Now let's say we are trying to get, because like I told you, if you understand how to write SQL very well, you'll be able to write Python. Is the knowledge are transferable, which is why I said we should be committed. Now let's say we want to write the unique value, the new unique region present in this particular Python. So you can just write something like df. Do you want to focus on all the data sets? No, I want to focus on the region only. So you just write your quotation mark. What are you focusing on? The region column, right? If you click on, if you run it now, can you see why is it giving me an error? So sorry, it's giving me a recursion error. So let me just say I want to write region. Sure. Now let me run this. There will be a problem, right? There will be an error message. Well, let's run it. I want to show you. Now it is saying that my key error is what region. One thing about Python is that please don't be scared. You can see how long this error message is, right? You don't need to read everything. You just need to know your key error. Look at all this error code. I'm just looking for my key error. Where is my error coming from? Region. Why? You just look at what you've written. I wrote small r, but looking at that region, let's look at our df dot columns. Look at our df dot column. The column is what? It's starting with a capital R, right? If you look at this one too, our data sets, you can see our region is starting with capital R. And this one already told me that my key error is what? Region, because I used the small letter. That's why just trying to show that you will have Python is case sensitive. Once I change this one to a capital letter R now, can you see? Then I run it. Can you see? I have everything. I have the answer without showing an error. So you can just say df.region dot. What do you want to do? I want to see them in unique value. We want to see the unique region that we have here. You can just say unique, then you have to open and close your parentheses basically. Then click on enter. Can you see? The unique values are what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That means we have 9 regions that they collected this data from. So now I can, instead of me counting manually, for me to count, I can also use Python program or Python function. So instead of unique now, it will now be number unique. That means I'll just add n in front of this one, then control enter. Then can you see we have 9 here already? So now that means I've already worked on this particular region. Now, what are we trying to work on? We are trying to work on women abuse. So I want to know which year did they start collecting data? Is it from 1990 or is it from 2025? And when did they stop? Or is it still ongoing? If it is 2025, that means it's still ongoing because we are still in 2025, right? So now, what's particular the first thing is data sets because you can only get your stuff from your data set, right? So I'm focusing on this particular year. Remember, my year is in capital letter Y. Please don't let us do that mistake now. So we want to write something like this: df dot year, your quotation mark year, right? So click on your one. Can you see? But now I want to see where do we stand? Where do we start? Because this thing they are just basic data analysis. So the list country, the list here, that's where we start. So you can just write dots mean because mean means minimum. So you can just open and close your bracket here. So can you see that means we started what? We started in the year 2015. So if I want to see the last year, that is the most recent year, what do you think will be the formula? Can someone on it and tell me, please? Thank you. That would be max. So you just write DF, open your brackets. This one will be what? Max year. Then this one will be what? Max. Open your bracket again. Then run it. That means this data set collection goes on from 2015 to 2025. Please, do we get that? Can we reply to that emoji if you get that? Okay. So basically, they are very simple. So now let's look at type of abuse. Which one is very common? So now, where can we see our abuse inside our data frame? I mean, that's where we keep it. We want to write DF, right? Where are we focusing on? We are focusing on what's the name of the column again? Um, sorry. Name of the column is type of abuse. So open your square brackets, right? Put your quotation mark. So what do you want? Type of abuse tab. Now, what are we trying to do? So let me run it first. Let's see if it is running. It's already running. Now, let's look at this thing. I want to count how many times do we have emotional abuse. Like I'm trying to know which one is most common, right? So I'll just write something like dot value count because I'm trying to count it. And what do we end everything with? We end it with what? With a parenthesis. So you just write your control enter is the short form, or you can run it using display button. So let's just say control enter. Can you see now? It's giving something like, can you see we have, I think it's arranged actually. It is arranged alphabetically. So the first type of abuse is what? You can see this is data analysis. We started Python today and we're already doing data analysis because Python is just so simple. Right, you can see sexual abuse is what 1226, followed by economic abuse, followed by physical and emotional, followed by emotional, followed by sexual and emotional, followed by physical. Now, I want to ask someone a question, right? So now let's say we want to know which country appears the most in this particular data set. So what will be the code? Please, can someone unmute that mic and let's have it there. So we are trying to count how many the country that appears the most in this data frame. So what would be the line of code?
So you're gonna start with DF
Yes,
country.
country. So you have to open your square bracket and write your what? Country. Okay.
Then dot
Dot what?
value
Value.
value count.
Exactly. So I've written that.
Of the country.
I'll just hold my phone. I'll just open my parentheses. Then I'll
Yes.
I'm so sorry, man. Your call entered and disrupts my network. I'm sorry. So now we can see Pakistan is the most have the most women abuse cases, followed by United States, followed by South Africa. And you can see we already now let's say we only need the first one. So you can just add h5. Let's say we want to return the first 5 countries. Can you see? So instead of returning all the country, can you see we have our first 5? So basically, Python is just so simple. Now let's just look at another thing. Let me see. Now let's try to. I want someone to tell me how many cases have been reported to authorities. How many cases have been reported to authorities? Please, can someone unmute the mic and tell me what will be the code for that? Anyone? Should I call names?
So you see, use df dot
I use what?
df dot,
Okay.
then
Dots.
open bracket. Yes. Country of this thing.
Actually, it won't be.
Okay,
It will
reported
be
to.
the square bracket. So it is actually reported to authorities.
Yes, sir. Reported to authority.
Okay.
Then value count.
So that's the dot value counts. Then open
Then
your
you plot
parentheses.
where then dot yes.
Yeah, you can see. No, we don't need dot head again. Head is just
Okay.
like I need top 5 in this case because there are just no or yes. So we don't need dot head.
Okay,
Yes.
it's only to yes.
So we can see most of the cases have not been reported. That's 3,519. Can you see? Most of the cases have the cases that have been reported is 3481. Basically, that's what Python is. So tomorrow, right? Because we are majorly done with Python for Excel, and that's why I told you that when you understand the basis of Python, of everything that we've learned before, to use any other tools, and this will continue. If you start Tableau today, it still be like you are doing Power BI. So you don't need to say, because this is what has been taught in this particular training session. This is only the thing that you know. No, you know more than that. You just need a bit of training. Now you can see, okay, maybe I should ask one more question. Now let's ask, um, don't worry, I will try to do a full project on Python tomorrow. Basically, it will cover both of the things that we know and the things that we don't know. So let me just add this one in case we don't we have not seen that before. So now in this case, so let's say we want to know the percentage of this thing. Maybe this one is 40% or so inside these brackets, you write something like normalize equals to 2. Right. So you can just click on play. So can you see this percentage is what 50.2%, because this is actually they are calculating it based on 1. So but this one is 50.2. You just multiply it by 100, then this is 49.7. So you can actually
So
get
sorry,
your
I have
percentage.
a question.
Okay, who is there? Okay.
So you said that the normalized is the percentage.
Yeah. To get the percentage of this one too, you can just come into the inside the parentheses of value count and just add normalize equals to normalize. I have to get this spelling equals to 2. Then contour. Can you see? We have them in percentage now. So you just multiply it by this is like 7%, this 7%, this is like 6.9%, 6.7%, 6.7%. You get, we have a lot of countries that made up 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So another thing, I actually expect this question while I was teaching us. So what if this thing they have been arranged in descending order? What if I want to arrange it in ascending order? How do we go about it? So inside that your value counts again, right? You will just write something like ascending equals to, let's see, if you write 2, what would be the implication? So can you see? Oh, I want to start with first. So let's say ascending equals to 2. Can you see it is now arranging it in ascending order. But if you say ascending equals to first, it will still be in descending order. What's happening? Ascending equals to first. So can you see? Please, do we get that also? You get that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So basically, we are almost done. So tomorrow, we just focus on doing a full project with Python. Then we do some visualization, and that's it for Python, and that's it for this course. Please, do we believe that Python is very, very simple now? Yeah, do we believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this is what we do recording for today. Thank you so much for your suggestion, and thank you for your time also. Please try to call Melly tomorrow. We have a long way to go.
Yes, sir. Sir, we please, sir, if it's possible, can we get the visuals for today so that we can make some practices and then,
Obviously, you will.
sir?
Huh? I said you will get it today by God's grace.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. You're welcome. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a great day. Bye. See you in the next class. Bye.
Bye bye. Good night, sir.
Bye bye. Good night, sir. Yes, sir.